Almost. Hey, welcome to Chop Talk. I'm Kyle.
I'm Spencer, and let's get
Let's
into it.
yes. So Spencer, what are we talking about today?
So, we're back from the finale. This is now season two, arbitrary magical time, but it's season two.
That's right,
Um,
season two.
and we have our roadmap. So, we have a roadmap of what we're working on, what we're going to plan to do, and all of our aspirations and things so you guys can call us on at the end of season two if we never did any of these things. So, all
So
right.
Spencer, on our roadmap, this is awesome. By the way, this is like when you see a video game company like, "Hey, here's what we're going to release. This is our goal, right? These are the things that we're going to do." Do you want to talk about what's in the mix? What we're doing like right now?
So we've had a really great year. I mean, this is going back to season one and the things that we're now planning to do. As you can see, our first picture on the left, we have our Hammer class. We were in Chicago at Chicago Swordplay Guild. We had, look at all the smiling faces, those smiling faces.
I see
Um,
it and I'm like, man, it looks awesome. And everyone's wearing green. I didn't get the green shirt memo.
what can I
Uh,
say?
now I've got it. I'm wearing green next time. If I don't,
CSG's CSG's all about the green, all about the green. We taught that was our Shotel class, which you flew in because
mhm.
now you're in the wonderful state of, I always say, North Carolina.
That's right. I'm in North
Excellent.
Carolina now.
So it was a really cool deal to fly you down. They helped pay for all of that. We taught them about the amazing Ethiopian or Abyssinian shotel, and it was really, really cool. Yay! Hey, Juniper, thanks for tuning in. It's good to see you.
And
What did you think?
dude, what's cool about that is that people liked it so much they want us to do it again. They have you booked for a whole group, which is why it's on our mix, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's something that we're trying to do repeatedly. Sometime later during our side questing portion, we'll talk about what we have other plans going on right away. Uh, but it was just a really good time to teach people about historical African martial arts, bringing that to the forefront, and it's going to be a really cool endeavor because now I get to be like, I am an expert on historical African martial arts. But it's fun. It's really
Well,
fun.
it depends. Like, experts, this word that's tossed around. Uh, but really, are you good at hitting somebody with a show tell? I think that qualifies you for being an expert.
I think so. And then I know at least some facts, and once again, I'm like, it's Abyssinian, and people are like, what's Abyssinian mean? I'm like, that's what Ethiopia was before it became Ethiopia. And you throw some more facts out, and you're like, sweet, put my
Yep.
little expert pen on.
It's like when we talk to Mon Stith, you're like, hey, I've got the Martian knowledge, but also here's a ton of history knowledge that I'm just going to throw onto there.
100%. And it's been really cool to learn that and get more and more information. And classic, as you know, just like giving me a good retail days, whenever they're like, well, what about this? And you're like, I don't know that right now. I'll get that answer and get right back to you. So
Yep.
it's okay. Always learning. Just an expert, not a master. They're different completely. What else we got? We have the Marquette. If you want to talk about that a little bit, Kyle.
Oh, yeah. So in the last year, we helped Marquette University with a physics experiment with using, the wide collection of swords that we have collected over the years. And we were able to showcase that with students and help them do these experiments that measure how swords are balanced based on their weight structure, which is super cool because if they start adapting this strategy for measuring swords, it's going to give you way more information on the swords. Anyway, super awesome stuff. We did a video on it. You can check our channel for that. But once we did that, Professor Vahil wants us to come back. They're working on a grant to really expand that, add more stuff, I mean, all kinds of things were on the table. Like they want to do motion capture and just they said a bunch of things that, Spencer, we were like, that sounds
Like,
cool. We'll help.
exactly. We're like, yes, please, please, we'll come back anytime. The kids had a lot of fun with it. This was the first time. I said kids, students, I should say more.
they're,
Uh, even
they're
though
in
they're like
college.
half
We
our
can't
age.
call them kids. We're just old. We're just old,
It's
bro.
old. That's all right, but young at heart, young at heart. But no, it was so cool for they've done all these other experiments like with a ball or baseball bat. And Professor Vihil is SCA, so she talks to them all the time about
Mhm.
rattan, and so they're not foreigners to fighting stuff. But when they saw all these swords, they're like, "This is so much different." And I think it was so cute when we had all the people, all the students have their swords. I'm like, pick your favorite sword. Let's go get a picture. And they're like, can we get pictures? Like, yeah, take all of them. Take all of them.
Yeah,
So this is really cool. It was really cool.
that was really fun. Yeah, I can't wait to go back. When they talked about that, that's probably going to be later in the year. So maybe another December year end part of our roadmap.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to get some grants in there and help us make it work and use some sword money to buy some new swords for them. But yeah, so that was really cool. So that's gonna right up there with their in the mix. We have some other new videos coming out. We're trying to be more regular than
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
but with our distance, we're trying to work on that. We have our chop talks, which we're doing now. We're trying to do
That's
those
great.
every 2 weeks, but of course, we're flexible working adults. This is not our real job yet. You know
The,
how cool it
the
would be.
the big thing that gets us, Spencer, is when we travel to fight too much. That's honestly like we've managed to make it so it's around our jobs, but then I'm like, hey, dude, we've got it on Tuesday, right? And you're like, yeah, no, I'm flying to Minnesota. I gotta win the longsword championships or wherever
Yeah.
you go. You know,
Yeah, or I'm like a quest. Like this princess told me that you needed to help save her from this castle, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Yeah. So we're trying to work that in. We wanted to make sure that we are in our domain, as you can see with the awesome Wandering Sword plaque and back. We like
looks
doing it from our
awesome.
home base. Thanks. We're gonna get you one for you soon.
I
Um,
need it right now. I just got a Conan up here.
it's pretty awesome, not just. But we will do some more on the go. I mean, our cameras are probably better than some of our. I mean, it's better than my camera right here, honestly. But we'll make it work. We got some more TWSP merch coming out, especially with some other in our side quest slash sword. No, side quest. We've got the pictures with some new cool news we got coming in. That's some things that can help the channel. But with that, let's talk about some of our coming soon. We have our picture with Kyle with his cool Viking sword and Viking shield, and he's doing some really great YouTube slash. Oh, we need to put him more on YouTube, but doing
Yeah,
great
you bet.
Instagram stuff as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Thanks, man. I've been having a lot of fun building this Viking historical reenactment kit for one of the Viking goals we're going to do. And then I was like, what if I just go through and make some training videos? And so that's it's been my whole social media lately is like how to do this with a sword, how to do it with a buckler, how to do it with a Viking shield. Um, yeah, and that particular one, I'm just having fun playing through all the different stances that you use in historical sword fighting.
So cool. It's so much fun. Once again, now we got back with some of our in seminar. That's a great picture with Gabby from CSG. And it has a nice view because you can see my sweet biceps as I'm blocking it. And with my show tell, and I'm like, oh, that looks good. I need
Oh,
to do more of those.
oh,
But she's just smiling and having a great time. We're trying to do some more instructional videos. We're actually, if you guys haven't heard about Udemy, we're going to start making some programs and some other. Kyle, how do you summarize that?
So yeah, we basically we get asked a lot like, hey, how do I learn remotely? How can I study sword fighting if there's not a group in my area? And it comes up so frequently that we actually are just going to create a teaching course that can give people very good basics on some different sword fighting subjects and let people and just kind of guide them like, oh, do you really like fighting in armor? Got to check out this group. Do you really like the reenactment part? This group might be for you. Or do you just like drinking beer and hitting dudes with sticks and or foam sticks, like this might be a group for you. So we want to just do some basic teaching so we can help people find groups that are right for them, which is a big part of our TWSP goals, as you know.
Exactly, because that's what all about teaching everyone and anyone about sword stuff. Be it lightsabers, foam, sticks, shotels, everything. We're going to work on some seminars soon, so make sure to stay tuned to our social medias. We're going to start using our Twitter a little bit more as well. We got a lot of things coming as far as it goes from instructional slash also things where you can come out and see us and actually learn some sword play one-on-one or two-on-one or whatever we have going on. I don't know.
10 on 50.
So
uh,
that.
dude,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Spencer, this is awesome. I want you to tell me about the plans, man. What concrete plans do we have? That's the part that like I'm really excited to get to.
So it's great that you say that. We have some great collabs coming on. We are going to be working with Shoshana in the future as well. If you haven't known her, she is the undisputed national USA Shield and Sword champion of HMB. I don't know if she's done IMCF, but I'm sure if she will fight in it, she will win. But she's won from 2018 till the present. She has not lost a tournament at all. And she's going to be coming on the show with us a little bit. We're going to talk about swords and her journey and all good things there. We also have Saint Leafy, who's an awesome Instagrammer. Check her out if you haven't. She's going to be coming on the show too. We just got a lot of cool collabs coming on. Some we're going to keep under our hats because we don't want to
Yep.
show you everything.
Yep. Yeah, we've got, I mean, we just have a lot of friends that do different sword clubs. And our goal with this season of Chop Talk is to try to get as many of them as we can to just come and chat with us about swords, ask them silly questions, and, just have a good time. That's basically our big goal for season two.
And as you can see, the part we have Legion Sports Fest, which is basically like a if you guys ever heard of Arnold Classic, that's a big tournament where when I went to Reno last
I
year.
have heard of that.
Exactly, I figured you had. Where they have arm wrestling competitions, they have strong men and women competitions, they have Muay Thai, like you name it. There's just all these wonderful athletic people walking around, and then in the corner they have the armored combat people, and you hear clashing and bashing. They're like, "What's all this?" So next year we're gonna get to go there. Hopefully we'll both be there together so we can do some things. Or if not, also have some cool accoutrement that we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, and I can flash around that bling. We're gonna be going to Dragon Con again. With Knights of Wakanda, the all people of
Yes.
color SEAL group. They won Dragons Cup this year, so we got to come and try to defend our crown. So that's going to be awesome. Um, do we have some training camps coming up, Kyle?
Yeah, Camp Wakanda, bro.
Yeah, Wakanda forever.
Yes. It's like I'm so excited to talk about this because we've been working on this behind the scenes for months and months, getting everything lined up so that we could actually teach a kids camp. And it's finally coming up this year. So, dude, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be super cool.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be in Peoria, Illinois, so it's central to myself. But if it goes well, we'll try to send it around the whole nation. We're doing it there because we have a lot of big following. The Peoria Zoo is also signed on. They have an amazing, world-renowned Africa exhibit where we're gonna get to show the kids all these cool animals and African animals after we teach them about historical African martial arts. And we're kind of doing like Fiore. There'll be 5 different animals. We're still hashing that all out, but each one will get to be like the spirit animal, but also learn different kind of creeds as well as different things that are good for a person, not just in swordplay, but into life. So it's gonna be really fun.
I dig it,
Um,
man.
so
Yeah,
that's pretty. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying we've been working real hard on that one to make sure it's going to happen this year. So, dude, it's going to be great. We've got more videos coming to talk about that and to show how people can help or how they can join or be a part of it. But that's all coming up soon. Like that's something that we'll really be rolling out hard this year.
If you guys show enough interest, I mean, I don't know, there's so much cool Star Wars stuff, so maybe we'll do a Star Wars camp, but we're not sure you're really interested in that, but let us know if you are. I mean, no, we're really interested. We're doing it anyway, so that's
Yeah,
just disclaimer. But there's a lot of cool things that we can do that way. Once again, that's the whole part about getting everybody into sword stuff. I don't care if it's not in this galaxy, in a galaxy far, far away. Like we're getting people here having fun.
yep. And lightsabers are fun.
Darn straight they are. All right. Well, that's our pretty much roadmap for the year. We'll be touching back on this. Make sure to keep us in check if time goes through and you're like, hey, we didn't see anything about instructional videos yet. We haven't seen anything about seminars or where's my Star Wars camp or where is Camp Wakanda. Make sure to
Haven't you
stay
taught me how to
tuned.
use the Force yet, dude?
Exactly. All right, without further ado, Jason, hit the Sword Nerd News. Let's see what's coming up. Alrighty. So let's see.
All
Sword
right,
Nerd
Spencer, are
News.
you as big a Lord of the Rings dork as I am?
Based upon how you phrase that, I'm going to say probably not.
Well, that might be true, but I'm really into it.
But I'm into
Uh,
learning.
dude, all right. So I'm not sure. There's people, everyone's like has their 2 cents on the new show that's coming out. There's gonna be a Lord of the Rings show that's not based on Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, but based on the Silmarillion, which is like the past. It's like the
Like the
more like
Iliad,
a
basically,
yeah,
like all these things. Yeah.
like yeah, mixed with a really dry history book. But people really like it. Um, so this is coming out, and people are making their opinions. I have no opinions yet. They haven't released more than 12 seconds of footage,
Wait, wait, wait.
and
Are
some
you
stills.
100% sure you have no opinions on? Because I'm looking at a picture of armor with Galadriel, and
Yeah.
I have some opinions I could have, but you're allowed to have no opinions.
All right, I got a couple opinions.
Tell me a few.
You got me,
Tell me.
dude. So the armor actually, like for fantasy armor, I'm actually really impressed with this.
Mhm.
Um, they
Jason,
Lord of
can
the
you zoom
Rings,
in on that? Can you zoom in a little bit more, Jason? If well, you go, Kyle, go.
yeah, like fantasy armor normally does like it just looks too out of like World of Warcraft armor. It's unreal. Like no one could ever actually wear that armor, even if you were a gigantic super orc in that setting. But
Hmm.
here in the show, like the armor doesn't look bad. It looks otherworldly because it's elven.
Hmm.
Um, Everything about this I dig, but there's one detail, and it's gonna make it seem like I don't like it, but I actually love it. But check out where her arm flex is here in the
Or in a cute
customized
little
stuff.
area. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. What do you think's gonna happen when she goes past this angle?
Yeah, that's a little tough. I mean, I know it actually looked like they're taking a little bit from some gothic there,
Oh,
uh,
definitely, definitely.
but it does seem like she's not gonna have as much maneuverability. But for all those Lord of the Rings people, if you work on the show, by far we would come out and we would love to see how that works firsthand. So please let us know.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I
Stonework is one of the things that we're working on this year.
exactly. But I think it would get she kind of get caught. But we'll see. I'm really
Yeah,
curious.
and
I'm more. Oh, go ahead.
it's just fantasy. Like it makes it seem like I hate it to be so nitpicky, and it's just this one detail.
No.
But overall, dude, I actually love it. I think it's great.
Oh, no, I think it's fine. I think it's interesting with more her neck. If you see if that's a solid piece right here,
Hmm.
that would be like doing this would actually kind of hurt a little bit more. So I'm curious. It's interesting when they try to make this full and closed. But to me, I'm like, that's what the gorget would protect. Unless she was doing more horseback stuff, so you want it's like kind of a built-in bever.
See?
But that walking around in that part would be she'd be like that you have that kind of torso thing because otherwise you do that you're like I cut my neck I cut my neck again. And then my last thing part is her battle skirt unless it's like mithril which it could be.
Dude,
um
she's an elf. It's got
okay,
to be mithril.
never mind, I won't say anything. No, I'm gonna say something, but if it as long if it's mithril then it's fine. But still, as we know with mass and things, mithril may not be able to be cut by almost anything. If she still takes something to her groin area or hips wise, I wish they had like a plate, a nice plate that dangled down that
Mhm.
was just a nice, just something to protect her mass wise. But that's it. That's about it.
I mean, that's a good observation. She needs maybe like one of those gigantic, oversized 16th century cod pieces, like a gigantic steel one.
As long as it has elven jewels and runes on it. They have runes,
Right.
right?
It's got to be artistically themed.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
dude, this is pretty great. There's so many movies that have armor that's just laughable, and this is a
Yeah.
fantasy series that's very, downright plausible in many ways. So, dude,
Jason,
this is actually a good sign.
I think so. And Jason, hit that next picture. I know that probably we put in the other direction, but I think it's just some nice close-ups or
Mhm.
theatrical
Mhm.
of I think it's the sword holding. I don't know. Let me see. There's
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I'm not sure what the sword is on the left, if that's a particular sword that they're depicting. But
probably,
I
but I
do
don't
I
know.
really like the design on it for a fantasy sword. It still looks like a 14th century um, sword within the oakshot typology with just fancy stuff on
Hmm.
it. It's fantasy. That's fine. I think that's an awesome way to go with it. What do you think about the gauntlet on the
The
right?
one on the right, I think that's is it? Can we say his name? It's not like Voldemort. We can't say his name. With Sauron Gauntlet, we can say Sauron, right?
Yeah, we could say it.
Okay, okay.
I don't
So,
I
so
don't think YouTube will censor us for you saying that S word.
like the Dark One. Just delete him, get him out. No, I think it's really cool. It's once again everything just seems like it's going more towards a gothic, pretty, ginormous, over the top gauntlet. But in my doing punching with swords and other bow hurt, you give me a fist like that, and I might actually sometimes like I don't need a shield. This part just start punch. That's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I could. I could talk about that for quite a while, but let's keep moving. Let's keep our show going
All
before I
right.
get like super into the weeds.
We got let's hit up. We had some Book of Boba Fett. I know it's a little bit dated, but we got to talk on it since we have come back. I mean, it's February. It's 2/22/22.
That's
So,
right.
woo!
Tuesday.
Make a wish or something.
Tuesday.
Um,
Day of twos.
and I'm just gonna say I'll make a wish. I wish they did give the dark saber weight, and I think that's goofy. But for those of you spoilers, you look at that. It's
That's
interesting.
a great point. Uh, the only, well, other than the obvious answer of like, well, it's just magic,
Yeah, yeah.
which you can't argue with magic because it's not real.
There's a bunch of space
Um,
wizards. It's fine.
yeah, I've always disliked the dark saber, like as a concept. It's made out of light.
Hmm.
That being said, if they have to have a dark saber, it's a pretty cool one. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Uh, and then the same thing with the weight. I think it keeps falling that category. I'm like, I agree with you. That's stupid. A lightsaber shouldn't have any weight. But if it does have weight, like they're telling a cool story with it, like the Mandos doesn't know how to use it. He's struggling with it. It was a cool storytelling, but you're right.
yeah. But I mean,
It's
teach
made
their
out of light.
own. And I'm like, I can go either way with it. It's a cool shape. It's almost kind of more like a Tonto, or actually, it's more like a giant sax, which is a Viking weapon. It kind of looks
I
like more
got
like a giant sax.
yeah, I see what you mean. I always got the katana vibe from it.
I thought it, but since it's straight, it wouldn't be a katana. It'd be more like a ninjato
Okay.
or either that
Okay.
one, which is why I call it a sax. But it's interesting. You get more things. I just don't like how they like saying it has weight. Now, is that because the lights are wavering? I don't know. But it's
Maybe,
interesting, something cool.
maybe it's just the magic of it, right? Maybe just like the thing has a will because it's a powerful magic item.
Possibly. Jason, could you
That's
get that next picture for us? Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm just glad we're having more content. And
oh, me
when
too.
I mean, at this point, it's not really spoilers, but when the Mandalorian came on the Boba Fett show, and it's basically like that captain moment, they're like, look at me, this is my show now, this is my show," and I was like, "Oh, Mando's here, yay!" But
Yep.
oh,
But I was
so
also like, okay, you're the captain now. We're on this ship.
I think it was great. Which, speaking of that, they brought the lovable green little Yoda-like character Grogu, which I hate,
Uh-huh.
but I do know the internet loves, so I'm allowed for people to have fun.
You can't hate Grogu
I'm
Spencer.
just a hipster.
Come on,
I'm
bro.
just a hipster. I'm sorry. I'm channeling my inner Doug. Just saying. But no, but tell us about this thing. And if you guys haven't checked out Kyle's Instagram, KFP Quest, he has a cute little, almost 1-year-old boy, Alexander, and he bought him
Yep.
this beautiful
Yep.
Baby Yoda outfit and did this amazing little skit. But
I
I'll let you
went
go.
I went full dad about it. I like put my son in the Baby Yoda outfit and like videoed him. He played with my lightsaber. It was a lot of fun. He and I had a blast with it. But yeah, it's on my IG. Dude, this photo, I really loved this shot. Like learning about like cinematography and stuff. This is one that stood out to me. Like there's the light and the dark that's clearly contrasted. He has his two choices. Luke points with one hand, but it casts the shadow onto the other choice. When this one came up, I actually had to rewind it and watch again. So I was like, that's so perfectly put together. Uh, like that's totally unrelated to the story and everything. I just geeked out about the cinematography on this.
When you brought that up, I was like, oh, I didn't actually think about that. That's really cool. As you look at the picture we have on the screen there, it's just amazing. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
dude, I was pretty happy with it. Got any predictions for Mandalorian season 3?
I don't know. I really they could go anyway. They brought Grogu back, so to me it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be that kind of comic foil, but it's
Yep.
gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I think
All
it is too, man.
all right, Jason, hit that side question. We're gonna tell you what we have going on and what things we're going for. Okay. So
National champion
I
Spencer
am
Waddell.
the national longsword HMB champion of the US. Yeah, Wakanda forever. And they can never take that away from me. So that was really
Dude,
cool.
awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're gonna get some more. So we didn't have a lot of footage for right now because today we are just working on more of the roadmap. But we'll actually show my championship fight. We're gonna have a press release. The next Chop Talk after the next Chop Talk. So we'll let you know when that is.
Mhm.
Due to scheduling, it may not be 2 weeks from now. We're gonna have to double check, but we hope it will. But yeah, longsword champion, man, it was great. There were all total there were around 100 combatants. But a lot of
Okay.
them were there for the 5-on-5s because the U.S. has to go through teams. This is the qualifiers who gets to go to Romania. So now I get to represent the United States, and it feels like an anime, like a real life sports anime, where I've now beat everybody, or at least I qualified for the United States, and now I get to face the world.
That's
I mean,
awesome. So
yeah,
you're going to Romania. When are you going?
that's June 2nd through 5th, so I'm gonna have to go a little bit
Second.
earlier.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
but it's going to be awesome. I'm going to make the IMCF attempt. So there's two big tournaments right now. It's mainly for H&B, which is Historic Medieval Battles, and there's IMCF with the International Medieval Combat Federation, that's qualifier for the U.S. is in April. And if I win that, I'll technically be undisputed United States champion. But if I don't get to do that next year, I'll try to do that next year, or this year, I'll try to do it next year.
Dude,
Um,
Spencer,
yeah.
one of the fun things about Chop Talk is we get to kind of go in detail on some of the fun things that have happened, like behind the scenes. Uh, Dude, can you talk to me about that sword? You know the one I'm talking about. It's in your Instagram in the first video you put up.
So for you viewers, if you haven't checked out, it was literally the first fight of the day. We're at 10:30 a.m. I'm the first fight of the day. I'm going against Pietro Monaco, awesome fighter. Has only been like in armor for a year and a half. We do a couple passes that I hit him in the head once. My sword goes and just and breaks. First thing, I'm just like, no. This
No.
$200 sword is broken. New sword, get me a sword. But yeah, a lot of people that let them get in their head and they're just like, oh my god. But I'm just like, sweet, new sword, let's go. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
it's fun.
it cracked me up like only you would have that luck, Spencer. Like, all right, I'm ready. I'm prepped for this. I got all my tools. First fight, sword's dead.
It made me think of Legend of Zelda and the whole atrophy thing. Someone was using my sword before I got to it, and it had like it was at the bar of 1 out of 15, and I do one hit and it's gone. It just
A likely story.
yeah. But we
Yeah.
also did, Kyle, when we came, actually, while I was still in San Diego, because the competition was in California, we were on a panel with world-renowned swords practitioners, artists, and everything. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we did the Matt Blazek's history symposium, for lack of a better word. They had panels of, yeah, there it is. There it is. It was called History Live Northeast. We had like so many people. There's all like Hugo Serrano was there, all of these authors and historians
Doctors,
and people practicing.
doctors.
Yeah, that and we went into the armor and what it was like, and Volgamut was there at the end. We had a band play. It was a great time. Yeah, Spencer, you and I were on the panel with Shoshana and Saint Leafy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not her real name. I just always like to help people
Brittany.
get their Instagram. Yeah, it's pretty, but like Saint Leafy on Instagram.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's good.
and we all just talked about our experiences in armor, and it was a blast. Like we got to talk about mindset and fighting for the rules and the armor. Um, Dude, it was a wonderful thing to be a part of.
Yeah, and Brittany Saint Leafy, she's like a 14-time HEMA medaling champion. She's amazing. Check out her Instagram if you haven't. But Matt Blazek has his non-for-profit, kind of like the Wandering Sword, where he's working on building, I think it's a life-size effigy, or like whenever they see the knights laying down and they're in their armor, they're working on building that. And he's going to do the research and talking with the museums. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff.
That's so cool. That's
All
so
right.
cool.
Next, what do we got next, Jason?
Ooh, more Shotel.
Yeah. Oh, so this weekend I have a Hammond class. Literally, after we do this, I'm gonna start driving up to Chicago. I got some things to work on. So with Black History Month, I'm doing the tour of Africa instead of tour to Italy. Since they're an Italian school, I was like, let me talk to them in a language they understand. So we'll have a little bit of meatballs, a little bit of ravioli, a little bit of linguine. But instead of that, we got shotel, we got tacoba, and we got spear. So we're
Dude,
gonna
you're making me
mishmash this all
hungry
together.
and ready to fight.
Hungry and ready to exactly trying to get your stomach and your mind, body, and soul ready to crush your foes and enemies and cut them in half with the Shotel. So that's coming up February 27th. If you want information, please check out or send in the comments below. Just be like, hey, where's this going to be at? And we'll get you some ticket information. But it's going to be about a 3-hour long class where I'll be teaching about the differences because of other African weapons. Working on that expert thing.
That's fantastic. Uh, which weapon are you most excited to teach about?
The spear. No, show tell.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought for a second there, just like 1 second, I'm like, maybe he does love the spear.
I do really love the spear, and the spear in African. Like I talked to them about the European. I talk about oh my goodness, I'm thinking of his name. Oh my gosh, horns of the bull. Shaka Zulu. We talk about Shaka Zulu, and I talk about throwing spears. So it's really cool.
Dude, I got like 100 more questions for you on that. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to. We've reached time, but I have like so many more questions to ask you. So we'll go into that in the future. We'll definitely go into that deeper, especially as we talk about Camp Wakanda, where we'll be teaching
Yeah.
this stuff.
And last thing, like you're doing Arnold Classic, right?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Yeah, you got to plug that.
There is a invite only tournament at the Arnold Classic that is a Armored Combat Deed. I was invited. There's a cash prize. There's a whole bunch of other related HEMA tournaments, and I'm flying into Ohio to get to participate in this, and I cannot wait. And that's coming up. Let me see. I think the date is the 12th. Yeah, 12th of next month.
That's awesome, bro. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome, and hopefully I'll get to tag along and yet do some smashy clashy, do some bow hurt with you.
That would be
Well,
awesome, man.
anything else? What you think?
No, we've got to go. We are at maximum time. One of our goals is to keep our chop talk nice and fast, keep it moving, so we don't, hang out for too long. So this has been Chop Talk with Kyle.
And I'm Spencer. Make sure to check our channel and like and subscribe and put some comments below.
Yes, and please follow us on Instagram at the Wandering Sword Project.
Until next time,
Wander
wander
on,
on and cut.
cut.